Thank you for joining me, Aina Koyo, on NMH at 1, where we highlight the news making waves in Namibia and beyond, ranging from current affairs, community stories, sports, economic news. My name is Aina Koyo, as I've said previously. Coming up on this broadcast, 13 arrested in biggest crypto bust. COVID-19 volunteer workers demand answers from the Ministry of Health. National Library of Namibia and Ministry of Education combat plagiarism. You can follow all our programs on our website, which is called Oneuptwo.com, as well as DSTV channel 285 and GoTV 25 in Namibia. Former President Hifikepunye Pohamba and former First Lady Penehupifo Pohamba were counted yesterday for the 2023 population and housing census at their residence at Okangudi village in Ohangwena region. The former president encouraged fellow Namibians to participate in the national activity and ensure that they are counted. Visual news coming up after the break.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
In our visual news, the National Library of Namibia, together with the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, hosted a workshop yesterday at the Nampawa Convention Center in a concerted effort to combat plagiarism, uphold intellectual property rights, and ensure a proper layout and editing of publications. Victoria Isaacs, the senior librarian at the National Library, presented their proposed publishing standards and encourage publishers and writers to collaborate in establishing a writers forum. This video is courtesy of Marid Ngula.
Proofread your work before you are going to apply for an ISBN number. We are getting some writers, authors, writers. Then they came to apply for an ISBN number. Then I said, who edited your work? No, with grammar, I'm very good. I edit myself. Who am I to ask the editor? And said, no. That's why we have to set that standards for them to know before they are coming to us that they are going to edit their work and ask someone to proofread that as well.
33 of 76 COVID-19 volunteer workers for the Ministry of Health gathered in front of the Labour Commission office for an arbitration meeting, as they have been jobless since their contracts were terminated at the end of last year. According to Public Service Union Reginald Knock, some workers, mostly porters and cleaners, worked without pay. He spoke to Elizabeth Cabes. Have a look.
My name is Reginald Cook. I'm the representative of the volunteer workers from the Ministry of Health and Social Service. I'm also from the Public Service Union of Namibia. Today we have our case with regards to the volunteer workers of the Ministry of Health and Social Services, who has been on since COVID-19 and even before COVID-19, 2017, volunteering the services to the Ministry of Health and Social Services on a free basis. to assist the Ministry of Social Services. Thereafter, they were given short-term contracts of 3 months and 6 months short-term contracts, and in 2022, in July, they were just informed that your contract will be terminated within 2 weeks and they should leave the premises of the ministry. We engaged the ministry to indicate to the ministry that that is not the way that contracts are terminated, because the contract was supposed to run until December 2022. We then had our demonstration, we gave our petition, and the contract was then reinitiated until December 2022. Coming at the end of December 2022, they were informed it's finished, you must go. However, some of the members that was also on contract were told to remain and the rest were told to go. How they come to the conclusion to decide who must stay, who must go, we don't know. We've been asking how did they come to that conclusion. They can't give us an answer. We also found papers and communications between the ministries and the Public Service Commission, the Prime Minister's Office, that any positions that grade 15, grade 13 positions, which is cleaners and porters positions in the Ministry of Health and Social Service, was designated for the volunteers and the COVID workers. However, we also found that people are being employed in those positions and are still being employed in those positions who are not from those groups. Now, why would you ask for permission to relax the requirements in terms of recruitment for these people, to appoint these people, but when the appointment comes, none of these people are taking, or just a few of these people are taking? What is a concern is that people who are not even coming to interviews, did not even apply, are being appointed to those positions. Are they families, girlfriends? We don't know. But it is a concern and it's a question that we must ask. So we are here today at the Office of the Labour Commissioner in the hope that this case of our members can be resolved today. We've registered this case in 2022. We are more than a year later and we can't get any resolution. So we are going to push today the arbitrator for us to arbitrate the matter so that we can finish this matter today. When we hope that the remaining 33 members that we have can be employed in those cleaner and porter positions, which is still being advertised, and we are not even invited to interviews. Imagine these people have been doing this work, now all of a sudden they are not good enough to be even invited for an interview. We've tried to engage Commerce region, we've tried to engage the regions just to ask them, do you have positions available for cleaners and porter? We have written to all the executive directors for all the ministries in the hope that this can be discussed at the executive director forum to say, guys, do you have positions available for porters and cleaners at your ministries, at your directorates, so that we can employ these people that risk their life in COVID without being compensated, to make sure that the Ministry of Health and Social Service was in operation during that time.
In our newspaper review this afternoon, we start with the Namibian Sun front page. About 120 young people were rescued and a further 13, the majority of whom are Chinese nationals, arrested yesterday at a house in Windhoek, which was allegedly a hub for illegal speculative financial trading. Among the arrested were 3 Namibians. One man, described as the kingpin of the scheme, is on the run amid a hot police pursuit. Those arrested ran a company called Reynolds Investment, which operated at and rented the entire 3rd floor of Shapumba Towers in Auspenplatz. The same owners rented a house in a posh suburb of Ausblik where the arrest took place. A police sting operation also found that the same suspect owned the now defunct Blue Elephant Investment, which described itself on Facebook as a financial consultancy company. Moving over to our next story, Windhoek's average dam levels have dropped to just below 30% with no current prospect of rain. The total average of Namibia's dam has dropped to 63.5% compared to the last season 76.8%. In the central area of Namibia, the average dam level is a low 32.2%, while last season they stood at 50.6%. president. The Swakopmund Dam is at 56.6% of its capacity. The Fonbash Dam is 19.5% full, and the Omatako Dam is empty. Moving over to the Republicans' front page, the office of the president has distanced itself from the suspension of New Era managing Jonathan Bierkes, saying it did not influence the decision, nor was it aware of it in advance. Speaking on the evening review yesterday, presidential spokesperson Alfredo Hengari said President Hage Geingob did not influence the decision to suspend Bierkes, who was shown the door after publishing a series of articles questioning the transparency of appointing judges for the country's high and supreme courts. The residents of Okahanja marched again to the municipality, this time to ask their original complaint back. Seth Gariseb, a community activist, says, "We are going to withdraw our petition and we will take it directly to the president." The complaint was handed over to the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Utoni, in Windhoek about a year ago, and later to the office of the Prime Minister, Sarah Kugongerwa Amadira. The complaint was sent back to Utoni, who again referred it to the town council. Gariseb says the disgruntled residents are now looking for the original document back. The Allgemeine Zeitung reports that the 131st issue of the science journal Physics and Chemistry on the Earth, Professor Rob Sheldon, Surina Esther Hazen, Andre Luca and Sarah Greenwood addressed the issue of potential groundwater contamination from wells drilled by the Canadian gas and oil exploration company Recon Africa in the Kavango region. Citing numerous studies, they conclude that nature is exposed to significant risk from the said drilling. Moving over to our next story, on page 3, AZ reports that the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research, who has made 40 million euros available to advance the development of the green hydrogen sector in Namibia. Dr. Andreas Kotze, Managing Director of German Embassy in Windhoek, emphasized this in his speech on the occasion of the German Unity Day on Tuesday on the grounds of the embassy residence when referring to core points of the German-Namibia cooperation. After the break, we return with more newspaper review, starting with the Namibian newspapers. Do not go away.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your...
The executive chairperson of the Alliance and Reverend Christian Churches in Namibia, Dolly Nengushe, has urged the government not to make it easier for people to get divorced. This is reported on the front page of the Namibian newspaper, which further reports that Glendes Pickering, the executive director of Justice, says that the current divorce law forces spouses to stay in abusive and unhappy marriages. An off-duty police officer who allegedly shot a civilian at the Kakana village in the Kavango East region on Sunday has been denied bail after making his first court appearance on a charge of attempted murder this week. Warrant Officer Jonas Kandiwapa appeared before Magistrate Selma Shinga, who denied him bail due to the seriousness of the crime and allow him to obtain legal representation. Namibian households are still struggling to make ends meet amidst a recessionary economic environment branded by high interest rates, rising food and fuel prices, and stagnating wages. The country's cumulative number of household borrowers increased on an annual basis of 4.7% to 244,697 beneficiaries at the end of 2022. This is according to the Namibian Financial Institution Supervisory Authority, which noted that an increase in the number of household borrowers was reflected in the category of household borrowers transacting with the payday lenders. The multi-billion-dollar Windhoek Okahanja Road project has to date created more than 300 jobs. According to Road Authority CEO Conrad Lutombi, this is well within the strategic goal of transferring skills and opportunities to locals. Briefing the media on the progress of the project during the official opening of an 11-kilometer section of the road between Omakunde and Gross Barmen interchanges on Tuesday, he said more than 300 jobs have been created during the first and fourth phases of the project. Fuel prices in Namibia's key import market, South Africa, increased significantly in October. Fin24 reported that unleaded petrol price 95 increased by R1.14 a litre, while 93 increased by R1.08. Diesel jumped by R1.96 a litre, while 0.005% sulfur rose by R1.96 a litre. A litre of 95 unleaded petrol now costs R25.68 in Gauteng, while the wholesale price of diesel in Gauteng costs R25.01 a litre, a new high for 2003. In July 2022, diesel reached a record high of R25.40. After the break, Namibia and South Africa are set to strengthen their bilateral ties. More on this in our economic news. Stay with us.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouth-watering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Namibia and South Africa are set to strengthen their bilateral ties when they meet for the third session of the Binational Commission in Windhoek next week. This is according to an invitation released by the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation yesterday. The session is also expected to review cooperation in a wide range of areas, including diplomatic, legal, economic, social, and defense security. And the presidential segment will be co-chaired by President Hage Geingob and President Cyril Ramaphosa. Let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 23 Namibian dollars 59 cents to 1 British pound, 20 Namibian dollars 42 cents to 1 euro, 19 Namibian dollars 35 cents to 1 US dollar. All market shares remain the same on the local stock that includes MTC, Capricorn Investment, and First Rand Ltd. Local index have remained the same, while Trustco Group holdings have increased with 1.40% and overall index has increased with 0.94%. All commodities have increased except for copper, which dropped with 1.24%. After the break, we return with our news from Africa.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
In our African news this afternoon, Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine said Thursday he was under house arrest after being seized by security officials on his return home from a trip abroad. Wine, a pop star turned politician who ran against veteran President Yoweri Museveni in Uganda's last election in 2021, has been arrested numerous times. They picked me up illegally, like you saw, and as we speak right now, I am under house arrest. Soldiers and police are all over, Wine told journalists at his home north of the capital, Kampala. As soon as I landed, goons grabbed me, dragged me, twisted my hands and bundled me into a waiting private car. They drove me to an old airport where they pulled me out and put me in a military car with many soldiers and police officers. It was very humiliating, Wine said, whose real name is Robert Kayangolani. He also said that 300 of his supporters had been arrested but did not give details, and AFP was not able to independently confirm his claims. We return with international news shortly. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday suggested that the plane crash which killed Wagner mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin in August was caused by hand grenades detonating inside the aircraft, not by a missiles attack. The private Embraer jet on which Prigozhin was traveling to St. Peter's crashed north of Moscow, killing all 10 people on board on August 23, including 2 other top Wagner figures, Prigozhin's bodyguards and a crew of 3. Putin suggested the plane was blown up from inside, saying that the head of Russia's investigative committee had reported to him a few days ago. Fragments of hand grenades were found in the bodies of those killed in the crash, Putin told a meeting of the Valdai Discussion Club in the Black Sea resort of Sochi. We will bring you local sports shortly. Stay with us. Football lovers have all the reasons to be excited this weekend. From local to international, there are some mouth-watering fixtures to look forward to. Coastal team Blue Waters FC, who finished second in the Debmarine Premiership last season, play Orlando Pirates FC in their 4th round, while they have a tough game against defending champion African Stars FC on Sunday. Namibia senior women team, the Brave Gladiators, has intensified their training as they prepare for the 2023 COSAFA Women's Championship. Head coach Paulus Shipanga complained about his side's lecture training performance on Monday, but said the mood has improved ahead of Friday's clash with the Mars of Botswana at the Luka Moripe Stadium in Johannesburg. After the break, we return with highlights. Don't go away. All right, here are the highlights from today's broadcast. Gunmen have kidnapped students in northern Nigeria. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday suggested that a plane crash which killed Wagner mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin in August was caused by hand grenades detonating inside the aircraft, not by a missiles attack as it has been reported. Namibia's senior women's team, the Brave Gladiators, has intensified their training as they prepare for the 2023 COSAFA Women's Championship. And those have been our highlights. Please do remember to tune in every weekday at 1 o'clock to spend your lunch hour with NMH at 1, catching up on the latest news in Namibia. Happy weekend.